Hello again, subscribers, new, whatever. Okay, I had some people. This is an overview of the Kyosho Mat Force. I have a running video up of it now. It has a very torquey engine, but this is how I got it. This is how it is now. This is my beater body. It's a piece of junk. And this is what I'll run with it. But this is a Kyosho Nitro Mat Force Kruiser. It has quite a few unique things about it compared to other 8th scale monster trucks that are out there. So I'm going to go ahead and take as you can see, the head of the motor actually comes out, but it doesn't come out quite a bit through the top. So it's just pretty much flush with the bed. As you can see, right, I don't know if that can be seen, but yeah, if you were at eye level. So take that off. One thing I like about this over the Savage is, with the Savage, one of the biggest problems is the spur gear and first gear in the transmission are plastic and they strip out. I have a friend, his name is Earl B. Williamson. He is making stainless steel first gear for the inside of the transmission for the Savages, so you won't strip the gear anymore. You won't have to take out the transmission, put in another gear. And that's one thing with the Savage. That's one reason I got rid of my Savage for a 5T. If my one-way bearing goes out, I'm screwed. I can't get a new one, a starter shaft, anything like that. I won't be able to get another one because they're out of stock. HPI is not distributing until the end of summer, and right now it's July 1st. But with this, it actually has a triple pinion on the clutch bell and a triple spur. But when I was running it, I said it had a chain drive, so I'm going to compare that to my bike. With my bike, I have a spur gear which couples up with a pinion, which is behind this right here. And then there's a shaft that goes across, which then there's a, I guess, sort of a pinion gear that meshes up with the chain that sends power back to the wheel. And essentially that's the same thing that happens here, but instead, I'll get a close-up, hopefully, but there's a chain right here, and then it goes down to basically where a center diff would be, but it's actually a spool. So down here, there's actually where the drive shafts are, where it's connected, there's actually a gear, a chain gear, a gear for a chain to go around. So that's how power gets to the wheels. A lot of people were concerned initially when it first came out about it stretching, stuff like that, and they haven't stretched. So that's a nice thing. That's really nice about it. One thing I'm definitely going to be doing with mine is putting on a mounted servo, a axle mounted servo, because you can see here, the servo is up here. Then you have a linkage that goes all the way down to the servo saver. Then you have a linkage that goes all the way back up to the steering arm. Then you have a tow rod right here. Then you have another link that goes across to the right side tire, and then you have another tow rod. So that's five or six links just to get the right side tire to steer. Well, if I was to put an axle mounted servo right here, all I would have to do is make some links, and it would be a more of a direct drive system, and I would just have to get a better servo. I'll definitely put a better servo in this. The stock servo, like on pretty much any ready-to-run car, is junk. With this one, junk. So I always replace my servos with at least a Savox 0251 metal gear. Usually I found that has enough power, and that's only 35 bucks, and that's non-waterproof, but you can waterproof them. I'm still going to do a video on that, but you take it apart, put some of this stuff on it. Oh, I need a new bottle. But that's a silicone conformal coating. You take it apart, you put this on the circuit board, and then when you put it back together, you put a lot of grease where the gears are. And then when you put it back together, you coat the entire outside with that silicone conformal coating, and that will make it waterproof. I'm going to do a video on that. So, like, this is a really tough truck. The only thing I still have to do is set up the brake linkage a little better. Even when I give it 100% brake, the lever that engages onto the cam itself, basically the brake cam that engages against the brake pads, it's usually about right here. If it was like right here, you don't have to pull about that far. Well, right now it's about this far, and the link is this, like this. So I only have about that far to pull it, not only like maybe 15-20 degrees. That's not enough. So I'm basically going to pull that out, bend it, put it back in place, and yeah, that's it. But these are still being sold. The new ones come with, I believe, a GS21, a Kyosho 21 motor. But I will say this KE25 is a very, very torquey motor. Got a lot of low-end torque. It's hard, even with this massive wheelie bar that's basically homemade. The previous owner did all this. I've still got to fix some parts of it. But I'm gonna make an aluminum one that goes back a little bit further, probably back to about right here. But yeah, that's one of the weird things about this is that chain drive setup. And getting to the servo saver to tighten it, you do have to completely pull out the 3-speed system to get to it. Not that many screws, but you got to pull off the air filter. And here's another thing that's really nice. This air filter, you can get mud and water splash up on it, and it won't get into the motor. All the air goes in through this little crack right here. And it doesn't suffer when it comes to performance. And also comes with a blue sleeve. Stock, it comes with a silver sleeve for breaking it in, but this is the performance sleeve. Basically what this does is it creates a venturi. The incoming air speeds up. When air speeds up, a vacuum is created, and that vacuum is what sucks fuel into the engine. Even though you have fuel pressure that is pushing, oh wait, I actually need to move this to the inside, but you have fuel pressure that is, with nitros, the exhaust pressure, you have this right here is pushing pressure into the tank, which in turn pushes fuel to the carburetor. So that's how the carburetor gets the fuel. Gotta reroute this fuel line a little. But then in order to atomize it, a faster incoming charge will atomize the fuel better. It's great. Right now I'm running Bones 25%. No, 30%, excuse me. I absolutely love this fuel. I did like O'Donnell's 30% with 8% oil. Bones offers a 30% with 8% oil, but it's a mixture of castor and synthetic. The O'Donnell's is pure synthetic. So if you're looking to go with 8% oil, the race blend from O'Donnell's, you better know how to tune, because you will either run it too lean or too rich, and you will mess up your engine. I already know a couple people that went with the fuel I was using, and either they kept going through plugs or they screwed up their motor because they ran it too cool. With a nitro motor, you want it to get it to at least 200 to 220 degrees, no more than about 280. I've gotten mine to 300 before, but I've never, once I saw that it was at 300 degrees, I immediately richened up and I would put around so air would go over the cooling head to cool it. This has a pretty large cooling head. This is a big block. This is funner than a T-Max, funner than a Revo. It's got more power, solid axles. There's also the Fox, FO-XX. It basically the exact same chassis and axle setup, except different wheels, smaller shocks and springs, so it sits lower. More of a buggy type. and I'll eventually be getting one of those. Right now I have a Fortec coming. I traded a Red Cat Blackout XTE Pro, which has a brushless system in it, for a Fortec. I have a Schumacher Menace GTR coming. Yeah, I've got more vehicles coming. The Arma Fury that I got out of this whole deal, it actually turned out to be brushless. The guy lied to me. But it's good for my fiance to get started. This is a pretty fun little car, even brushed. Does a 35 mile an hour with a high-speed gearing setup that I put on it on a 2S LiPo. My last video I did, I was talking about this. I blew up the input shaft on the transmission. That has been replaced with an all metal gearing in the transmission. It's a pain in the butt to get to, but after you get it done, it's great. And I even got all the lights put back in place. So yeah, let's get that turn on. So yeah, all the lights, front, back. Make sure the rear tail lights are going out a little bit. I'm gonna have to replace those. So yeah, all that's working great. So yeah, that's everything that's going on with that. But I basically had people asking about the chain drive system, and that's how it works. It sends power from the spur gear shaft down to the spool, which is where the axles connect, which Kyosho actually calls them swing arms or something like that. I call them a drive shaft because that's what it does. It's a shaft that drives the axles. But then you have drive shafts in the axles itself. So yeah, I could understand where people would be a little bit confused. I have an extra one for the front just in case they are known to fall out. Kyosho is coming out with CVDs for the front and the back, so they won't fall out. And they have CVDs already available for the front tires, which I'll be ordering those probably tomorrow. My state taxes are finally coming back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The one thing I would say, stock that you're going to want to upgrade is beef up where the axle links are, where it attaches to the where the axle links attach to the tube. They will rotate some, and that's how the drive shafts can fall out. But once you get the CVDs, you're looking at about $45-50 for front and back, and another $45-50 for just the front tires to go into the axles themselves, the axle tubes. Very fun truck. I absolutely love it thus far. I've ran it about 4 or 5 times. It's been really hot. Like right now outside, it's 100 degrees. Let's see if my tablet's alive at the moment. I doubt it. It likes to die really quick. Yep, it's dead. But it's 101 degrees outside, and the humidity is like 65%. Personally, I don't like to take anything out when it's that hot. It's too damn hot to go outside and have any fun. I'm sweating inside my house because I was outside and I'm trying to cool down now. But yeah, I thought I'd explain that. I also have a FlySky IT4S coming. I ordered one of those because honestly, my FlySky GT3C is only capable of handling 10 vehicles. Right now I've got about 17 vehicles running off of it, so every time I connect a different one I have to change it. So now I'll just have to bind all the receivers up to the IT4S. I'll be doing a video on that. I'll get it Wednesday. The Fortec I'll be getting Monday. I've got 3 sets of Proline trenchers for 5T coming. My 5T actually has Baja wheels and tires on it. I'm also going to put trenchers on the rear of my... I'm probably going to leave... I'm going to take the rodeos from the front of the 5SC, put those on the front of the 5T, and then put trenchers on the rear of the 5T. And for my 5SC, I'm going to have trenchers all the way around, because honestly I like my 5SC more than I do my 5T. My 5T still needs 29cc. May go with a 30.5. Port and polish it. Personally, I like to have more low end than all out speed. I can gear up a little to get more all-out speed if I need. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I did a video showing starting it. Gotta be careful with these pull starts. They like to break. Personally, I prefer pull starts because even if they break, you can pull them off. If you know how to, you can re-spool the spring, put the string back in, and put it back together. It's not that hard once you learn it. Learning it is the hard part. I taught myself how to do it. I had seen other people do it, but they never showed actually how to do it, so I just looked and figured out how to do it, and that was actually on one of these. I have a lot of Nitros. I prefer Nitro. That's why the name of this channel is Nitro Revolution. My channel is to get other people running Nitros. I know brushless is a big thing right now, but with brushless you have to realize you're going to need a charger, you're going to need batteries. Those batteries aren't going to last forever. Lipos are not very stable. I've had one blow up inside my house right here. It put a hole in the floor right there. And it was in a bag. It was in a lipo bag, if I could find it. Yeah, it was in this lipo bag. In this lipo bag. Still blew it up. Lipo bag's fine. It's just the force from it. So yeah, I'm sort of skittish of lipos, but I still have some. I got quite a few. My biggest being a 7500. Where are you? I got a 7500 around here somewhere. I can't remember where it's at. I'll find it. But behind me there's a 5000 2S, 5000 3S. Where the hell is it? 7500. That's gonna irk me now. Let's look down here. That's usually where it keeps stuff like that. There's a 5000. Here's a 5000 3S. I wonder if I could take no. That's it. I wonder if that's actually in the car that it's meant to be in. And yes, it is. Yep. That's in my dragster, 102 mile an hour at 1.94 seconds and 132 feet. When I go racing, I don't record. I try to keep my mind on racing 100%. I go by myself, so I don't have anybody else to record for me. Next time I go racing, I'll try to get some video of other guys racing, like two-wheel drive buggies, 8th scale. I don't like two-wheel drive buggies, but I'm probably going to beef up this Arma with a Sidewinder system, because it really doesn't need more than that. With a 4600 kV motor, run 2S on it, and race it in the stock class. Because stock, well no, probably a 3800 kV, because the stock setup is a 3800 kV on 2S. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll also be doing a video soon on servos, comparing digital to analog, and then once you go digital you have coreless, brushless. What's the difference between all those? I'll be going over all that. I'll also do the how to waterproof a servo, so you don't have to spend extra money just to get a waterproof servo. It's not hard to do at all. On my T-Max, on my Revo, on all my vehicles that I would ever run out in the water, they are waterproofed by me. I didn't buy any waterproof. I have one waterproof servo on my T-Max, and that was back before I knew all this. And it's a Savox, I can't even remember. I don't like high-tech because I had a high-tech ultra torque. High-tech ultra torque. I don't remember exactly. And I had a 5th scale high-tech. The gears on the 5th scale high-tech broke. The high-tech ultra torque that I was using for steering on my for gas and brake, because I was using Savox for steering, it ended up going full throttle and dying and throwing my T-Max full speed right into my Dodge Journey. And surprisingly, with the if you replace the skid plates and bulks and diff cases with aluminum, you will really be surprised with how tough a T-Max chassis can be. You're still going to break arms, possibly shock towers, but I didn't. I just broke an arm. So just had to replace that. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to everything going on right now. Got some more vehicles coming. The Vortec was supposed to be here today. I just got to put the clutch valve back on it, put the bearing in the clutch valve, put the motor back in, get it started, and yeah, that'll be mine then. I traded, yeah, like I said, I traded that. Then I have the Schumacher Menace GTR coming. That's being shipped out today or Monday. Today is Saturday, July 1st. So, yeah, thanks like usual for watching. Got any questions, hit me up. Where's it at? Always remember, the rider, if you run a fifth scale, a low C, Mini, 5T, DBXL, 5B, MTXL, this will get the air filter from the side of the engine to the front. The first generation ones were a little weak. It did show that they did break, but he redesigned them and they are stronger. He now has a Facebook page, Rider Logic. Personally, I put some epoxy across right here where it was, and then I sanded it with 150, and then 300, and then 600 wet, and then 700 wet, and now it's smoother than any other part of it. But you don't have to do that. All you got to do is put some RTV around right here, around where the hole would be. This hole right here, where the air intake would be, so there's no vacuum leak. And if you want, you can even do it up here. And as you can see, there's some dust here because I'm smoothing that down. But that's taking a little longer because that's actual, PTFE, I believe it was. So yeah, go check out his page. He makes a great product. And he's continually refining it and making other products. He's going to be making one for the Kraken soon to get the air filters up to the front of it. One thing about having it to the front is when you're going forward, you have that fresh, cool air coming right to the air filter. I just ordered, I told my fiance to, and I guess I slipped her mind. So today I ordered a Velocity Stack and a R2C air filter that I'm going to be running with this and outerwear. Always have some extra E3 spark plugs. They like to foul out, so always have extras if you run a fifth scales. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace.